to Contemporary American History. I'm Professor Turgison. You know, a lot of people think history is just facts. It's just information about the past, but not me. I mean, I hold history very sacred. Sacred.
All right, guys, welcome back. Joe again here from Their World Aquatics, and here we go. We're back at it. So obviously this has nothing to do with aquariums, but for any of those that have been following the channel, you remember a couple of videos back, we were in the process of building a brand new garage here on the property, and obviously looks like spring has finally broke, and we are jumping back on this project. Hopefully we can have this wrapped up by the end of June. We actually just got done installing that header right above the one garage door right there on the left, and we're getting ready to put the second one on. So just wanted to give you guys a quick update. Spring is back. We're on the garage, and we're hoping to get this thing wrapped up. So here we go. Trusses are coming up next. I just had to show you guys this real quick. It's amazing what 24 hours can do here in Cleveland.
Shoot me, run me over, whatever it takes, I'm in hell!
Just yesterday was absolutely beautiful, and now look at this. We got hammered during the night. It's actually kind of pretty looking.
That makes sense, though. It would be soft. It'd probably be, you know. Anyway, this is...
That's about as far as we got with the garage. But look at this snow. Wow. April 21st. And we are not done yet. Hopefully this will be going here another day or so. I just wanted to point this out real quick. Let me walk over here to the pond. That snow was heavy. A lot of down branches. It's weighing everything down. That is nice. There's our little paddle boat right there on the left. It's leaning up against the tree. All right, come on, spring. Come on back. Alright guys, take two, because Jack messed up the first one because we had a big shadow here. We couldn't see anything. So here we go.
Still there.
Still there, but we're a little bit better.
Well, I didn't know you wanted to get involved with the discussion, Mr. Helper. But since you want to help, maybe you can help me, okay?
Alright, so I broke out the whiteboard because I'm thinking, you know, it might be easier to draw this, which is going to help me and maybe kind of give a better picture for you guys of what it is that I'm trying to create. So with the aquascaping, I mean, there's probably 10 things that we're looking for on this overall picture. I actually wrote them up here. And surface area for the fish, meaning down here in the bottom of the tank. If we do get into like some epaulet sharks or bamboo sharks, maybe even a leopard, I'm not for sure, we want to create the most amount of area down here in the bottom of the tank. We've got that full 32 square feet, right? So 8 times 4, 32. If I choke this up and just put a big old rock formation here in the center, I'm really taking away from those fish being able to relax and move around, and providing them what they need. So surface area for them is huge. But what I want to create though, the bigger picture, just kind of getting right into this, I want to create like a floating rock, if that's even possible. But to hold this rock up, I got to have some type of base. So if we just did something like this, I'm just kind of just drawing this kind of goofy, but if this were to work its way up, right, with some rocks, I need this base, this kind of like mushroom effect, to maybe hold this upper section up here. And I'm just kind of throwing this together. This is not what it's probably in the end. It's not going to look like this, but the concept is there. I need something to hold this up. But I got to be able to have the ability that the integrity there, which is actually number 9, the integrity. So I need something to hold this up. We're thinking about bringing like an arm down this way, something to help secure this floating rock. So as we work down through the list, and when I'm creating this rock formation, this aquascaping for the animals, the flow, right? The water's coming in on the side of the tank with the 2-3 inch pipes. We need to have it so that's really flowing over this thing and really giving us some good current. We don't want any dead spots within the tank, which is actually number 3. As time goes by and you just have that water coming in a fixed spot, we all know what's probably going to happen. You're going to start getting buildup of detritus in, like, say, certain areas. Certain areas of the tank will start building up, even up inside these areas here, right? Just because of the way the current is flowing. Now, we already know that I'm bringing on a pair of the gyres. So you guys see these, this awesome piece of equipment that you can get from Bulk Resupply. You're probably going to see a gyre here and on this wall to really get this tank moving. So you're going to be seeing that here in due time. But when I build this rock formation, right, I got these rocks, these live rocks getting all connected. One of the things I'm looking for also with the fish is like pass-throughs, where the fish can be here and go right on through or right down through. So we kind of want to create like a honeycomb effect with the rocks, because if I do it solid, that's going to mess up the number 6 point, which is the light penetration. Light's going to be coming through this thing. I got to have the ability to get the light to the bottom of the tank. So I'm going to be looking at that. The other thing is the ability to clean. We already know that the bottom of the tank is going to have a real thick substrate of sand. Well, if I build this solid, I won't be able to get like a python system through, and this whole area that's below this rock formation, I won't be able to have the ability to get to. So by doing this honeycomb effect will give me the ability to shoot the python right through this area and down to the bottom of the tank. So we're looking at that right there. So you got to have the ability to clean it. Also with the rock formation, if I design this right, and there's a lot of pass-throughs and open areas, we're actually creating like security, housing for all the different styles of fish. A lot of these fish are going to be, you know, picking areas. You know, there could be a fish that, hey, you know, this is my house, this is where I hang out. So if I build this right, you could have a lot of spots here where some of these species will call home, you know. So one of the final things, obviously, is the appealing effect. When we stand back and the whole thing's built and designed, does this look cool? So that's the trick, though. This is aquascaping. You know, what I'm seeing and what I like, you know, others might not like. But if I do it right, you know, it's kind of the wow factor. So is it appealing? Does it look good? So this is the trick. The one thing I might have missed was the open area. We're trying to keep this whole area of the tank wide open. So that's going to be tricky right there. So we're going to see how this works right now. So 10 things. Surface area for the fish, in this case mainly the bottom, the flows of currents that are going through, dead spots, open areas over here, pass-throughs for the fish, light penetration to get to the bottom of the tank. With that, the ability to clean, security and housing, integrity of the whole system, and does it look good, the actual appealing of the aquascape. So with that, there's the concept. Let's try to build this thing.
Good answer. Good answer. I like the way you think. I'm going to be watching you.
All right, just a quick update. As you can see, we've started the aquascaping. And I tell you what, I got in there and I picked out probably 6, 7 rocks that I felt that the bottoms really mated well with the bottom of the tank. I mean, meaning they were like flat, or they were so stable that I actually picked those out of the group of rocks. Because you don't want to build something and this whole thing topple over. So you will see a lot of rocks out there where they're actually cutting the bottoms, or you can pre-order them. They're flats on the bottom, and then from there you start to build up. I was very lucky by kind of going through the pile, and I found the ones that were absolutely perfect for this application. So with that, I started to build this base that's going to hold the upper formation, the rock formation. But while doing this, kind of created some pass-throughs for all the different species to kind of sneak in and out of there. So I thought that was kind of cool. So instead of making it solid, kind of make it open also, but very stable to hold what's coming up. So, but in doing so and getting inside there and moving all the rocks around and finding just that right spot, as I went higher and higher, I'm like, man, this is pretty good. This thing's pretty stable. Now, granted, what we're going to do is we're going to use this Macro 400. So bulk reef supply showed up today, and I do have some items here that we're going to be using to help bring these rocks together. I mean, this is pretty much like concrete. So they say probably about 2 hours to really settle in, but 24 for a full cure. But you can see there's the mix on the left, and there's a liquid on the right. And the instructions tell you what to do. But that's like a solid concrete. We also did order this super glue and the accelerant, and this is really quick. So I'm going to be working with both products. You can actually watch a lot of videos on these items here, not only through Bulk Reef Supply, but there's a lot of guys on YouTube that talk about these products right here, and they are good. So we're going to be using both to create this unique aquascaping.
Now there would be a pay-per-view event.
All right, we're ready to make the first batch. So you take the polymer concentrate right here, and they say you got to put in 12 ounces or 375 milliliters water. Mix the two together, get it ready to roll. This is a 5-pound bag. We're not going to make a full 5-pound mix because you only get about 20 minutes. But take this and this, bring them together in a bucket, mix it up so you got the right consistency, and you are on your way. And with that, we're going to jump in and start bringing this together. Guys, quick update on the 1,000-gallon and the aquascaping. As you can see, we are well underway. So I'm probably a couple of days into this right now. What I do is I, throw on maybe 7, 8, 9 pieces per night and really let it set up for about 24 hours. I mean, granted, the super glue, which is the bottle right there on the right-hand side, that larger bottle with the red cap, and then the accelerant, which is just to the left. When you apply a little bit of that in just a couple areas of the rock formation that you're creating from one piece to another, I mean, it's 20, 30 seconds, and that thing really locks in nice and tight. The other one, which is this mortar mix, that little bucket has the powder in it, and I mix it with the solution, which is the bag right there to the right. You really got to be careful with this. When you bring those two together, they are correct. You have about 20 minutes, and that's ball game. It really just turns into a rock. I mean, it's solid, and so you're really under some time constraints. So one of the things I'm noticing as I'm kind of working my way through creating this shape is, like I said, I'll put that super glue between the two panels, or two rocks, I'm sorry, and lock it in. But if I can put the mortar between the two rocks, so I'm kind of hitting it on both angles of, gluing the two together, it makes it even stronger. So I want to get inside. I want to show you how I'm really doing this. The other thing too is I'm going backwards. So like on day 2 or day 3 or day 4, I go backwards and I'm looking at where I glued something the night before. And if I can, make up another mixture of mortar, I like to push it between the rocks and really start to, create more surface area so it creates more integrity within the structure. Because as we're moving down this road right now, I really want to bring this out further. And by doing that, I mean, obviously this area's got to be really strong. So part of me wants to put in some PVC pipe and then hide it within the rocks, but to create some type of a ring right here. That's kind of the path I'm going down right now, and making this, I really got to have the strength, because I don't want something to later in time, even though that looks like a crack, that's not a crack, that's multiple rocks brought together. We got to make this thing strong. But as this is going out this way, I am putting in some rocks that are kind of favoring this way. I've got a nice base on this, because obviously the other thing too is we don't want the whole thing to tip over. So kind of tricky here, but I think we're under one heck of a good start right now. So let me get inside and show you what I really do on bringing these things together. So last night I glued this piece in right through here with the super glue, and you can kind of see it. But now what I want to do is come back over top of that to not only cover that up, but to build up this area between this rock and this rock. So just taking a little shot of this. Like I said, you got about 20 minutes to do this. And just push that in there. All right, so now that the mud is exactly where I want it, I'm just going to go ahead and shape this in here, pushing it down between the rocks to kind of cover up some of that super glue, but yet build up some more integrity between the two rocks. This is a little difficult doing this and filming at the same time, but I think we can get through it. I'm really just kind of jamming that down inside there. So the other little trick is that once this is kind of where you want it, we don't want to look at that nasty color when it dries. So now I take a little bit of sand.
Nothing grows out here! Nothing's gonna grow out here! You see this? Huh? See this? This is sand. Yeah. It's sand. You know it's gonna be 100 years from now, huh? It's gonna be sand!
And now push it into the mortar, which appears to be almost the exact same color as the live rock. Obviously this is a lot easier when you have two hands. But this massive rock formation, I mean, this is not something we can build on a table and then attempt to put it down inside the tank, because the opening is not going to allow that. So this is definitely a build as we go here. I think that's probably pretty good. And as time also goes by, you know, once we start getting some purple coralline algae that really starts to attach to the live rock, you'll never even see this. So there you go.
But like I said, I'm just trying to help. I'm trying to just do whatever I can for people.
Now I really built up some strength between this formation here and over here. So I'm going to probably build this up right there and a couple other areas back inside here, only for the fact that I know that this is really going to start coming out towards me inside the tank. This is not something I can do without somebody else holding the camera, but it's starting to come together. It looks pretty good. More rock. Almost there. Hey guys, finally after 14 months, we are done.
Hey, Professor, take it easy, will you? I mean, these kids, they were in grade school at the time.
The aquascaping just got finished up late last night and I spread out the sand. But look at this wild contraption. This is probably made up of about 45 rocks that I put together over a 2-week period. And it is a wild looking shape. I would work on it just a little bit each night. And the big thing, obviously, well, first of all, that 2-part mortar is amazing. It definitely sets up within 30 minutes, but you want to give it a full 24 hours. And I was doing that as I was extending out more further and further with the rocks. And I would use that super glue and the accelerant, and then I'd come back through and really push in that mortar and using them together on each rock. And I tell you what, that thing is rock solid. There was actually a couple times when I was over here working on my back trying to push up mortar in between joints to really give it more stability and integrity, but in doing so I actually bumped it a couple times and nothing. I mean, this thing is rock solid. No pun intended there.
Oh, God. I'm having so much fun.
But it is definitely strong. So we broke it up a little bit. I threw a couple out over here, but just to kind of, break it up. But the big thing is to really keeping the whole bottom of the tank wide open. I am kicking around maybe a pair of horn sharks or maybe some bamboos. I think those are very cool. But at the same time, we're going to have a lot of different species of fish that are probably going to be congregating around those rocks right there, or really coming out in over here into this big body of water. So that was another reason I wanted to keep this wide open in this area here. But I think for the most part it turned out pretty good. There's several passageways that break through on the bottom. And over here. And there's another one on the far side. I'd actually have to go on the other side of the tank, but there's a lot of different broken up areas. But that's it. I think we're finally there. Let me give you a little side view here of this. And it's very deceiving. This tank is 4 foot tall, and this sculpture here that I created is every bit of probably 40 inches. So this, you're not really, you almost have to see this in person, how big this sculpture is, but it is pretty daggone sweet. All right, so with that being said, the system is built, the aquascaping is done, and I think it's time for water. So let me just get on that real quick. All right, for all you Joshes that are out there that have been following, and the Jonathans and the Mikes and the Chris and the Bills and the Bobs and the Johns, and man, there's like so many guys that I know that have been following and pushing me on this thing. No, that's not draft beer. That's probably going to be draft beer here in about 15 minutes. But just like the thumbnail said, there's water in the thousand. So I can't thank you guys enough for following along on this channel and watching this crazy build out. Man, it's been very time consuming, but you know, you work hard and you just kind of push and push and push, and eventually you get to the end result. And I think that end result is finally here. So
Now tell me why! Say it! Say it!
with that being said, I think it's time for some water. So don't leave you guys empty-handed. We got water in 1,000, man. There we go. All right. Let's go fill that with some beer. All right, guys. Till next time.